Welcome to the Daily Sports Content Economy podcast for today, Friday, January 30, 2026, as we look back at the last 7 days. It has been a week where the tectonic plates of the industry haven't just shifted. I mean, they have completely cracked apart.
That is the perfect way to describe it. Cracked apart feels very appropriate given the numbers we're about to look at.
Absolutely. Now, before we get into the wreckage and the rebuilding, I want to set the stage for you. To generate today's deep dive, our team has analyzed a grand total of over 250 articles, reports, and specific data references.
That's a huge sample size.
It is. We've pulled these uploads from sources including Sports Business Journal, The Athletic, Sports Pro, and a really significant update from the YouTube official blog.
And when you synthesize all of that, when you look at those 250 sources as a single narrative, the mission of this deep dive becomes, well, incredibly clear. We are witnessing a massive bifurcation.
Splitting in two.
Exactly. On one side, we are watching the catastrophic collapse of the old infrastructure.
They're talking about regional sports networks. Specifically, yes, and also the underfunded startups that tried to play the old game. They are hitting a wall hard. And at the exact same moment, we are seeing an explosion of growth in streaming tech, women's sports, and private equity.
So the middle ground is just vanishing.
It's gone. You are either a global giant or you are a nimble tech-native creator. If you are stuck in the middle, you are in deep, deep trouble.
Okay, so we have a packed roadmap. We're going to unpack the total collapse of Main Street Sports Group, which is a story that affects really any fan with a cable box.
It really does.
Then we have Apple changing the entire financial model of Formula One. And we have a special focus on YouTube because after reading their official blog post from this week, I think the definition of a professional athlete is changing right before our eyes.
It absolutely is. But first, we have to start with the headlines. Let's get into the week in review.
Right. Let's jump in. Headline number 1. This is the story that is keeping league commissioners awake at night. The collapse of Main Street Sports Group. So we analyzed reports from Sports Business Journal, and we cross-referenced them with data from Perplexity Analysis. The headline is stark. Main Street Sports Group is facing Chapter 7 liquidation.
Okay, I want to pause on that specific phrase, Chapter 7, because usually when we hear about businesses in trouble, it's always Chapter 11.
Right, and there is a world of difference there. Chapter 11 is reorganization. That's a company saying, hey, we have too much debt, give us a timeout to restructure and we'll keep operating.
That's Chapter 7. That's different.
Chapter 7 is the end of the line. It is the coroner calling the time of death. It means sell everything, lock the doors, turn off the lights.
And turn off the cameras?
Exactly. According to Sports Business Journal, 9 MLB teams have already terminated their contracts with Main Street because of missed payments. But the immediate crisis, the one happening right now, is on the winter sports side.
The NBA and the NHL.
The reporting indicates that broadcasting for 20 NBA and NHL teams could effectively go dark mid-season.
Just to put that in perspective for everyone listening, you come home, you turn on the TV to watch your local NBA team, and there's just nothing.
A black screen or a test pattern. Because Main Street has defaulted on the rights fees, they just don't have the cash to pay the teams, so the teams are pulling the plug.
That's an absolute disaster for the ecosystem, which I think brings us to headline number 2, another financial disaster, but this one's in the startup world.
Grand Slam track. This was supposed to be the future of track and field. But according to reports from The Athletic and WTOP, Michael Johnson's league has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Now, you just said Chapter 11 is reorganization, so is there hope here?
Well, you have to look at the balance sheet. The Athletic published the numbers, and they're terrifying.
Okay.
Grand Slam Track has $40.68 million in liabilities against only about $831,000 in assets.
Wait, let me make sure I heard that right. They owe $40 million and they have less than $1 million in the bank.
Correct. That's a leverage ratio that makes it almost impossible to secure new financing. And this isn't just, banks losing money. The Athletic reported that Olympic gold medalist Gabrielle Thomas is owed over $185,000.
Oh, it's just heartbreaking. These are athletes who are banking on this league for their livelihood.
It is a cautionary tale about liquidity. As The Athletic points out in their analysis, there is a massive difference between a founder-funded startup and a league backed by institutional private equity. One runs on optimism, the other runs on a war chest.
And Grand Slam didn't have the war chest.
Not even close.
Well, speaking of war chests, let's move to headline number 3. Formula One is moving to Apple.
And here we see that bifurcation I mentioned earlier. While Main Street is liquidating, Apple is backing up the truck. This deal was reported by Formula1.com and Black Book Motorsport.
So what are the details?
Apple TV Plus has secured exclusive U.S. rights for F1, and that's starting with the Australian Grand Prix on March 8, 2026.
And the numbers on this deal are just massive.
It's a 5-year deal worth $140 million annually. To give you some context, ESPN was paying about $90 million.
So Apple came in, threw down a roughly 50% increase, and just took the keys. That's a huge jump. Why are they paying that kind of premium?
Because for Apple, $140 million is a rounding error. It just is. Traditional media companies like ESPN have to worry about profit margins on every single deal.
But the tech giants don't.
They care about ecosystem lock-in. They want you in the Apple ecosystem, watching on an Apple TV, maybe buying an iPhone. The sport is just the hook.
Fascinating. Okay, headline number 4. This one is for the college sports fans. According to Sports Pro, the NCAA has officially approved jersey patch sponsorships.
Yep. Starting August 2026, NCAA Division I schools can sell those patches. And Sports Pro estimates this opens a potential revenue stream of over $200 million annually.
I feel like there was a time when the college jersey was considered, sacred ground.
There was. But necessity is the mother of monetization. The schools need this money. They have to fund the new student-athlete compensation caps.
So they have to pay the players now.
Right. So the patch pays the payroll. It's that simple.
Okay, finally, headline number 5. We talked about Grand Slam track collapsing, but on the flip side, we have Major League Pickleball.
A total opposite trajectory here. According to pickleball.com, MLP reports that their sponsor revenue has doubled year over year, and ticket revenue is up 84%.
It is just wild to me that pickleball is thriving while a track league founded by an Olympic legend is failing.
It really comes down to the business model. MLP kept costs managed while building a grassroots base. It proves that niche doesn't mean small if your unit economics actually work.
So that's the landscape. The middle is collapsing, the giants are buying up everything, and the smart niches are booming. And that leads us perfectly into our deep dive.
It does.
Because there is one player that sits across all of this, changing the very physics of how sports are consumed.
YouTube.
We looked at the YouTube official blog from January 2026, and a letter from their CEO, Neil Mohan. And I think we need to stop thinking of YouTube as just social media.
I agree completely. It's becoming the primary infrastructure of sports consumption.
So what stood out to you most in that blog post?
For me, it was the focus on generative AI. They announced a feature called AI-powered shorts.
Now, usually when companies talk about AI, it's all very vague. But this seemed, very specific for athletes.
It is. Think about the biggest problem for a professional athlete. It's time.
The time constraint, yeah.
You have to train 6 hours a day, recover, sleep, travel. You don't have time to edit video or film TikTok dances. But according to the YouTube official blog, athletes can now create content using their own AI-generated likeness.
Okay, let's unpack this. I'm an NBA player. I'm in the gym working on my free throws. But my channel needs content.
Right. So you or your social media manager can use this tool to generate a video of you, your avatar, your voice reacting to a trade rumor or breaking down a play without you ever leaving the gym. They also released AI music tools, so no more copyright strikes.
That is incredibly efficient, but it also feels a little dystopian.
Well, it solves the time constraint problem. It lets the athlete maintain a massive media presence without actually being present. And the YouTube official blog positions this as a tool for creativity, allowing athletes to be creators without sacrificing their training.
It's scaling yourself. Okay, but let's look at the consumption side. The Street and TechCrunch reported on the new multi-view features for YouTube TV.
This is the feature that really kills the cable box for good. YouTube TV is launching a customizable multi-view where you can select any 4 live channels you want.
Any 4?
Any 4. Plus, a sports-specific tier that bundles the NFL Sunday Ticket and Red Zone.
The customizable part is the key, isn't it? Previously, they told you what 4 games you could watch.
Exactly. Now you are the program director.
Yeah.
You are building your own command center. It's a level of control that traditional cable just never offered.
And the scale of usage is it's hard to comprehend. There was a stat from YouTube official that just blew me away.
The daily views.
YouTube Shorts has hit 200 billion daily views.
200 billion. With a B.
I had to read that twice.
It is a staggering number. And as the YouTube official report notes, shorts are no longer just a discovery tool. It used to be you'd watch a short to find the long video.
But now the short is the main event.
Right. The short is the consumption. Fans are getting their sports fix in these 60-second bursts.
And YouTube is capitalizing on that attention immediately. WebWave and ALM Corp reported on the new in-app checkout features.
This is the holy grail for conversion. YouTube launched full in-app checkout, and WebWave notes that 500,000 creators are already using it.
So walk me through the user journey here.
Okay, you're watching a highlight of a player scoring a goal. You see the jersey they're wearing. On the screen, a button pops up. You click it. Your size is selected. Apple Pay or Google Pay hits. Boom, you bought the jersey.
And you never left the video.
You never stopped watching. The friction is completely gone. You go from fan to customer in a single click.
And this leads to a shift in how we even define what an athlete is.
Yes. There was a fascinating report from LinkedIn VidCon Predictions. They argue that for Gen Z, the very term athlete is changing.
How so?
It's a semantic shift, but it's a profound one. The report suggests Gen Z athletes are not athletes with social media. They are creators who happen to play sports.
Wow, that is a heavy distinction.
It is. And when you look at the data from NeoReach, which forecasts the creator economy reaching $200 billion by 2026, it makes perfect sense. If you're an athlete, you are structuring yourself as a media company first.
And the league salary.
That's just a nice bonus.
Mm-hmm.
The real equity is in your audience.
Speaking of equity, let's talk about the money side of things, because while the athletes are becoming media companies, the actual ownership of sports is changing hands too.
We have to talk about the private equity consolidation. Bloomberg and Reuters reported a massive deal. KKR is acquiring Arctos Partners for approximately $1 billion.
And for anyone who doesn't track financial firms, why does Arctos matter?
Because Arctos is everywhere. They hold stakes in over 20 franchises across the NBA, MLB, and the NHL. They're a passive investment vehicle. By buying them, KKR, a huge mainstream investment firm, is basically building a mutual fund for sports teams.
So does this mean regular people can own a piece of, say, the Warriors or the Red Sox?
In a way, the Bloomberg report suggests this deal democratizes access, potentially allowing individual investors to buy into sports equity with minimums as low as $25,000.
That is still a chunk of change, but it's a lot less than the billions you used to need.
Precisely. It's financializing fandom. You aren't just cheering for the team, you're cheering for your portfolio.
But the other area seeing massive financial growth, arguably the most exciting growth, is in women's sports.
Oh, the numbers here are undeniable. SportsPro and LinkedIn Analysis are projecting women's sports sponsorship revenue to reach $2.35 billion in 2025.
$2.35 billion. That's a huge number.
It is triple the levels from just 2022. That is exponential growth, and we're seeing it in specific deals, too. Sports Business Journal reported on Ford expanding their LPGA partnership with the Power Her Drive mentorship program.
And ESPN reported on Unrivaled, the new women's basketball league.
Yes, launching Season 2 with a $100,000 championship prize per player. That is real money.
It is.
And we're seeing global money, too. Mirage News reported that Aramco is sponsoring the FIFA Women's Champions Cup. When you have major oil money entering the space, you know it's considered a Tier 1 asset.
But here's where it gets really sci-fi. We talked about AI making videos, but now AI companies are also becoming the sponsors.
This is a fascinating detail from NDTV Sports and WSC Sports. We're seeing AI platforms becoming major jersey sponsors. For example, Gemini AI is sponsoring the IPL, the Indian Premier League, for 2.7 billion rupees.
And in US dollars, that's what?
That is roughly $32 million.
So instead of a beer logo or a car logo, the players are running around advertising and artificial intelligence.
It signals a changing of the guard. The tech companies are the new banks. They are the ones with the cash flow to bankroll global sports.
Now, I want to pivot to the Tier 2 sports, or what we used to call Tier 2, because sometimes the most interesting business models happen on the fringes. We have to go back to pickleball.
We do. SportsPro had a headline that really caught my eye. Nike has signed Annalie Waters.
She's the face of the sport, right? The phenom.
She is. And she is 18 years old. According to the report from SportsPro, she earns $2 million annually from the United Pickleball Association, plus her endorsements.
Wait, hold on. An 18-year-old playing pickleball is out-earning rookies in the NFL or MLB?
In many cases, yes. And that is the power of that creator-athlete model we talked about. She dominates a niche. She owns her audience, and brands like Nike see that as incredibly valuable.
Maybe even more valuable than a bench warmer in a major league who gets no screen time.
Exactly.
That's wild. And speaking of new ways to engage, we have to talk about this deal between MLS and Polymarket.
This comes from MLS Soccer and Ministry of Sport. MLS signed a multi-year deal with Polymarket, which is a prediction market platform.
No, I think most people hear prediction market and they just think sports betting. Is there a difference?
There is a nuance. Betting is usually you versus the house. A prediction market is an exchange. You're buying and selling shares in an outcome. Ministry of Sport analyzes this as a validation of decentralized finance. It's creating a new engagement layer.
So you aren't just watching the game, you're actively trading on the outcome.
Exactly. It treats the game almost like a stock market. It changes the psychological relationship the fan has with the content.
So we have games becoming stock markets, athletes becoming AI avatars, and private equity turning teams into mutual funds.
When you put it that way, it does sound pretty intense.
It is intense.
Wow.
So let's try to synthesize this. What does all of this actually mean?
If we look back at the week from the bankruptcy of Main Street Sports to the rise of YouTube, the theme is the disappearance of the middle class in sports business.
Explain that a bit more.
Well, look at the winners. You have massive entities like Apple buying F1 rights for $140 million. You have tech-enabled creators, these Gen Z athletes, using AI to build empires. Those groups are winning.
And the losers?
The entities stuck in the middle. The regional sports networks like Main Street. The undercapitalized startups like Grand Slam Track that tried to grow too fast without the right tech infrastructure. If you aren't massive and you aren't a nimble creator, you are being liquidated.
That is a stark reality. You either own the platform or you are the platform. There's no room for just being a league anymore.
Exactly. That's it.
So before we go, I want to leave you with a final thought. We talked about athletes using AI to make content and earning more from equity than their salaries.
Right.
So if the money from YouTube and sponsorships keeps growing and the AI handles all the content creation, are we approaching a future where the game itself, the basketball match, the race, is just a marketing loss leader for the athlete's personal media empire?
That is a provocative thought.
Like, I play basketball just to get subscribers for my YouTube channel.
If the creator economy hits that $200 billion mark that NeoReach projected, the sport might just be the commercial break for the real show. And the real show is the athlete's brand. The game serves the algorithm, not the other way around.
Something to think about while you're programming your customizable multi-view this weekend. Thank you for joining the Daily Sports Content Economy podcast. We will see you next time.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Daily Sports Content Economy podcast. If you're ready to build your content media empire, we should probably talk. Visit rootgroupmarketing.com. Thanks for watching and listening.